Looking for the next knockout book? Look no further than Baer and Barney Ross, Jewish Heroes of Boxing.
I was introduced to boxing as a young boy when I was 12. My father taught me to box because I was small, and he was worried that bigger kids would pick on me. And he brought home a pair of boxing gloves, a jump rope, a speed bag, and a heavy bag, took me into the basement and gave me the elements of boxing. I developed an interest in boxing, and I had been writing for a boxing website called boxing.com for a number of years. I wrote articles and short stories for them, and I did research into Baer and Barney Ross and became fascinated by them and decided to write a book about the two of them.
Lifelong boxing fan and author Jeffrey Sussman combines his passion for boxing with his passion for history to bring awareness to two of the most influential Jewish boxers during the era of the Holocaust.
They became two of the most prominent Jewish boxers of the 20th century, and Baer was the only Jewish heavyweight champion of the 20th century, and Barney Ross was the first fighter to hold three titles simultaneously, lightweight, super lightweight, and welterweight. Like most people, we took the subway up to the Bronx. The stadium was packed. Out of 60,000 attendees, there must have been 30,000 Jews. You know, it was the Depression, and a lot of people wouldn't pay to go to a fight. But this was special. The Jewish fans yelled their lungs out for Baer, especially after he took off his robe and we saw the Jewish star on his trunks.
Bringing back to life the true life accounts of Baer and Ross, Sussman brings up how the stories of our past can relate to the now.
Baer and Barney Ross, famous Jewish boxers. And the reason it's so important today is because they suffered a lot of anti-Semitism during their careers, which came, right before the war when Nazism was rising. And today, when we're dealing with anti-Semitic incidents and the rise of anti-Semitism around the world, it's very important we all hear some of this important history.
Being a Jewish athlete is one of the loneliest things in life, really. Yeah, everyone, even when I'm on a plane and I tell the person next to me, yeah, I'm a Jewish boxer. Yeah, I didn't know Jewish people boxed. I said, yep, I'm the one. It is probably one of my biggest things right now to show everybody about the sport, that we are in it, and to show that the people in the community that I'm here, not just the people outside of it, but coming to like an event like this and showing my support to the author here today, and to show them and be proud of that kind of thing.
I think anti-Semitism is increasing now, and I think that Jews are looking for people who are symbolic heroes to fight against the current rising tide of anti-Semitism.
Boxers back in the early 20s were all Jewish boxers because we were the ones that came over here on Ellis Island, and we were the poorest ones in the entire sport, and the poorest sport in the world is boxing. So that's why we became so successful over the years, and it was such a beautiful story.
Beyond boxing, Baer and Ross symbolize the strength and hope for the Jewish community with their success both in the ring and out.
Both of these men fought with a Star of David on their trunks and became symbols for Jews who were being exposed to really a mounting tide of anti-Semitism in the 1930s when fascism and Nazism were on the rise.
These were wonderful gentlemen who were great athletes, obviously, but also very proud of their Jewishness, and became symbols of Jewish people that we were strong and we were going to survive.
The stories about Jewish immigrants coming here and them being the most popular sport in the world with boxing is just unbelievable. I love it. The left hook, everything he had was on dead point, and I completely enjoyed being part of that. And then when he mentioned some of the other fighters that they worked with, my manager back then, Ed Gersh, who passed away, and someone else took over, he worked with those kind of fighters, and it was kind of cool that I was part of that same kind of realm that he was talking about.
Sussman hopes his messages stay with his readers long after finishing the book.
Anti-Semitism is a cancer on society, and people have to stand up against that and any other kind of bigotry, whether it's for race, religion, sexual orientation, whatever. People have to take a stand, and they can't let any kind of bigotry exist, because if you let bigotry exist against one group, then eventually you're going to let bigotry exist against all groups. And, there's an old saying, first they came for my neighbor, then they came for my friend, and I didn't stand up for them, and now they're coming for me. So you have to stand up.
For Push Pause in Glen Cove, this is Dana Lloyd.